NBA Countdown, presented by Chime.
We're at the Seaport District in New York City. We are brought to you by Chase, and we have a lot to live up to. We had a thriller this afternoon in Milwaukee. Can't wait to see what we have in store from San Francisco. Stephen A. Smith, Jalen Rose. I'm Mike Greenberg. Michael Wilbon is with us as well. And our opening tip is a Saturday night San Francisco treat. Here we go. The Warriors won a close one in Game 1, defeating the Grizzlies in Memphis by a single point. Ja Morant had that chance to win it at the end, missed the layup with Klay Thompson defending him on the final play on that drive to the left. Morant would come back with a vengeance in Game 2. 47 points, matching himself for the most points in a playoff game in Grizzlies history. And both teams hope their sharpshooters get going tonight. Desmond Bane and Klay Thompson have each shot 29% from the floor in the series. They've been worse on three-pointers in the two games that we've had so far. So again, as promised, Michael Wilbon is with us, but Stephen A. Smith, I start with you. What is the single biggest question going into tonight's Game 3 in San Francisco?
Well, how about who the hell's going to show up? Is it Desmond Bane or Klay Thompson? I got an APB out for both in different areas of this country. Let's start with Desmond Bane. You averaged 23.5 points against the Minnesota Timberwolves in the first round. You're 29 three-pointers this postseason. We know you can ball. Ja Morant gave you all the love in the world, and you deserve it until this series started, and now we can't find him. The man is averaging 7 points. That's a 16-point drop-off from what he was doing in the first round. He's got to get it together because Ja Morant is going to need some help. And the great Klay Thompson, the future Hall of Famer that is Klay Thompson, the guy that should be on an all-time number 75 team, Klay Thompson. This brother is shooting 29% from the field and 22% from three-point range. That ain't the Klay Thompson we've known and loved all of these years. I don't even recognize him. So when that APB is real, I don't know where he is.
Klay and Bane is what Stephen A. says. Jalen, how about you?
What about Jaren Jackson Jr., Stephen A.? He had 33 in Game 1, made 6 threes. However, he leads the NBA in the playoffs in fouls. He got to find a way to stay in the game going against his fellow Michigan State Spartan, Draymond Green. If he can give him another big body, you get Steven Adams back. I know how much you guys like Brandon Clark and how he emerged playing up front. Now, all of a sudden, they have an infrastructure that they can use that they built without Dylan Brooks, who missed 68 games this year, and they got him back for the playoffs and gave him quality minutes. He's going to be suspended tonight.
After the hit on Gary Payton II, whom the Warriors will be without for the remainder of this series. Michael Wilbon, what do you have your eye on tonight?
Are we going to see vintage Golden State Warriors? Vintage. I mean, from 2015, 16, 17, 18. Vintage, nuclear, Golden State, all of it working. I know Gary Payton II is out, and that certainly doesn't help them, but still, there are enough pieces, the championship pieces, all together in this round against a challenger that they acknowledge is a young challenger. I mean, a young, pesky, ambitious challenger. Well, that should really push all the buttons on that Warriors locker room tonight, and those guys come out. I think we can see Golden State the way we remember them. I mean, much better than they were in the first round now that they've got their legs under them. Offensively, I understand what guys are talking about with Klay. I expect to see the real Klay Thompson tonight. Desmond Bane, by the way, has been a little hurt. He's got a bad back. Maybe the extra day off will help him. But I'm looking for the Dubs to be classic, vintage tonight.
Well, a couple of things I appreciate. Number one, Jalen's improved glasses. I mean, God help us all. Those goggles he was wearing last night. It's very much improved today, so we're thankful for that. Number two, I don't appreciate that background that Wilbon has. Look like a coyote is ready to run right behind him. I don't like that view, not at all. Number three, I appreciate the heads up about Desmond Bane because that would explain, and then that would basically nullify everything that I said. If the back is bothering him that much, he's not Ben Simmons. I'll forgive him for that. I understand what he brings to the table. But in the end, when you talk about a vintage Golden State Warriors, Ja Morant's averaging 40. You get him to continue to do that. Anybody helps him. You're going to have a problem if you're the Golden State Warriors and Klay Thompson does not show up. It's lethal weapon 3. That's what I called them. That's Steph, that's Jordan Poole, both averaging 25.5, and Klay Thompson at 13 points a game. You ain't injured. You ended the regular season averaging over 30 in the last 3 games. You showed up in the first round. There is no excuse for the ineptitude that we are witnessing from Klay Thompson. This is unacceptable.
I want to say one thing out loud. I want to see everybody's face as I say it. I was just told Jonathan Kuminga in the starting lineup tonight for Golden State. What do you guys think? Super quick reaction.
I love it.
In fact, let's come back and talk about it a little bit later in the program. We will get to that. We'll see the role that he has up against John Morant. By the way, no one mentioned Jordan Poole. How'd you like to be in this conversation? That's Jordan Poole and Bill Walton just hanging out before the game.
I can assure you only one person's talking. Trust me on that. And it ain't Jordan Poole.
That's probably right.
The man can put up some numbers. Giannis Antetokounmpo, for the 13th time, recorded a game with at least 30 points, 10 boards, and 5 assists. That makes him third all-time since the NBA merger back in the 1970s.
That means he's a stat stuffer, Matt.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty good, too.
Got a pretty decent resume, and he's about to fill that chair and reveal his thoughts on this Game 3 win.
Hey, Giannis. I asked Drew about putting up 30 shots. That's not something he normally does. He said it was kind of part of the game plan. What was, I mean, a guy like Brook, you know, leading scorer for another team, Chris, I don't know if Drew is thought of sometimes as a guy who can put up that many shots, can score 20 plus. What was maybe the thought going into this one to maybe get him that involved, you know, scoring?
Yeah, I think that's up to him. At the end of the day, everybody approached the game differently. He probably approached the game that he wanted to be aggressive and assertive to the game and make plays, pass the ball, shoot the ball. But he's more than capable of shooting the ball. He's more capable of scoring the ball. And I'd rather have aggressive Drew than Drew that. Shoots 7 to 10 shots. I'd rather him shoot 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 shots if needed to win. But he probably, approached the game and he probably told himself that he's going to be aggressive and he's going to try to insert himself into the game tonight.
I guess to follow it up for your own view, I know you like to say you like to make the right play. When did you decide the right play was for you to go to the basket as much as you did or put up as much as you did? When was that, before the game, or is that as soon as tip and you're just kind of feeling it and it's like this is what you need to do?
I just try to read whatever is in front of me, play to my strengths as much as possible. I know what my strengths are, but yeah, I just try to read what's in front of me. I just play with my instincts. Sometimes I'll go make the right play, sometimes I'm going to make the wrong play. But as long as I play within my strengths, I'm going to be in a good place. And I just try to make, take it a possession at a time and make a good decision, at a time. And